dear friends and aspirants, welcome back to the yet another video session of High Point, our channel, where you will get ample study materials related to NTA, UGC, NET, JRF, English language and literature. So like you can see, today's topic is yet another comedy or play by Ben Jonson known as The Alchemist. So Alchemist is a play by Ben Jonson, like I said, and we will be having an introduction and character list as well as a detailed summary of this play, and towards the end of this play, as a conclusion, we will have the themes related to or themes that we can find in this play as well. And just like I'm here in YouTube, you can find me in my website known as www.highpoint.in. And if you are seriously looking for your UGC NET JRF study materials and you have determined to have your NET JRF in 2022, then here is a nice place that you can visit, and we have some amazing courses for you to offer for you to crack NTA, UGC, NET, JRF, English language and literature. So here comes our website www.highpoint.in, where you can have 900 plus audio lectures. Once you visit and have the free trial, you can see the contents, the whole modules that we are given there, and the whole things that we have given there, and have the demo materials and see what we have provided there. And the entire audio lectures are arranged systematically and also in a chronological way, and it is it is arranged in a most simplified and most useful manner. See, you will see that once you visit my website. And also the same way, the entire downloadable PDFs, 300 plus PDFs are arranged there. You can have them all once you subscribe to the course, and also you can lively attempt the previous and practice set of question papers that we have provided there, and know your marks and progress instantly. So if you are interested, you can go and we can have a chat about the entire course and the extra things and bonuses that you are going to get once you subscribe to the course, that like weekly tests and exams that we will arrange in every Saturday, and also the free study guidelines according to your preferences, which will be customized for you especially. So that's what we can do in our website, through our website. And if you want to join a WhatsApp group in which I am sharing daily quiz question and also news and updates related to English language and literature, NTA, UGC NET, English language and literature, as well as some study cards, you can obviously go to the description box and click the link and join it. Or if not, you can message me directly in this number given. If you are interested, I can make you join in the WhatsApp group. Okay. And also I am in Instagram too, so I have an Instagram page. My ID is right here, LizzieMaria90, and you can follow me there to have daily basis study cards. Every day I am sharing study card except Sundays, and also small videos, carousels, and reels and stories related to NTA, UGC, NET, which will make you to be consistent in your studies, not only in JRF English or NET JRF English language and literature, but still in every other course that you are doing in relation with literature. Okay, so that's all about it. Let's move on to the introduction to the play. It's a comedy by Ben Jonson, see, and it was first performed in 1610 by the King's Men. So about King's Men, I have mentioned when we were discussing about William Shakespeare and his theatre, right? So King's Men, it's a theatrical group. And what was the initial name of the group, King's Men? The Lord Chamberlain's Men. Remember? So the name of this group of theatrical actors and artists got changed when James I ascended to the throne of England, and the name changed to the King's Men. So Alchemist, the play by Ben Jonson, was first staged in 1610, and it was performed by the group of men known as the King's Men. And Jonson's best and most characteristic comedy. So we can see the most craftsmanship and his major characteristics as a playwright also quite visible in this comedy. And Samuel Taylor Coleridge believed that, so Taylor Coleridge belongs to the age of romanticism of English language and literature, and Coleridge believed that it had one of the three most perfect plots in literature. So he actually labeled, and he actually picked 3 major plays from the history of English language and literature and labeled them as great plots, having great plots, and Alchemist is one among them. And fulfillment of classical unities and vivid depiction of human follies. So we can see Ben Jonson respecting 3 unities of drama. Which are they? Unity of time, unity of place, and unity of action. He is respecting these classical unities in this play, and also it got a very clear and vivid depiction showing of human follies. He is mainly in his most of his works, actually in most of his dramas, we can see he is mocking and he is satirizing the human follies. That's what exactly he is doing in Alchemist too, and he also got a reference to the contemporary trends of the then England or London, we can say that. See, the alchemist, those who are actually practicing chemistry, right? But still they were notoriously actually some believe that you can actually change some metal into gold by doing some experiments in the lab, and also during that time they believed so. And also you can change and you can create some magical powered philosopher's stone in order to give you powers once you hold it. Okay, so Alchemist could do many more things, supernatural and superstitious things like that, for you to give more powers. They can do some experiments and create something. So people believed, and alchemists pretending like that. Some alchemists were there during that time. Even now we can see people like that. They will they will create some rumor like that, so that they will get some financial benefits out of it. Okay, so such contemporary tendencies and human follies to believe in such rumors also mocked and also highly satirized in this play. Let's move on. Now let's have the character list of the play. Subtle is the alchemist of the title, a con man. See, here we can see mainly 3 con men: Subtle, Phase, and Doll. Doll common is the name given. So Subtle, he is the alchemist. He is pretending to be the alchemist of the title. Basically he is not an alchemist in the true sense, but he is a con man. And Phase is actually Phase is, it's a kind of ironical name for him. Actually he has no face in the sense, as the people arrives to him to have many things from him, many things that people demand from him, he changes his face, he changes the appearance before that person, in order to have and in order to con that person and have wealth. So Face actually has no face, no particular face, but his original name is Jeremy, and he is a butler. So originally he is a butler, he is a con man, and his original name is Jeremy, but throughout the play we can see him as Face. He is called as Face. Only towards the end of the play we can his real name Jeremy is got revealed. Doll common is the name. Doll is the short name for Dorothy, and she is a prostitute, and again she is a con woman. And Dapper is a girl, a legal clerk, and Abel Drugger, a young tobacconist. And Lovett is master of Jeremy, in whose house he is a butler. And Sir Epicure Mammon, he is again a girl. And Sir Pertinax Surly, he is a sidekick of Mammon, and he is skeptical, and he is always doubting about the things that Face and Subtle they are saying. Then Ananias is an Anabaptist. He is deacon of Amsterdam, and Castrel is one who wants to learn the skill of quarreling. See, some unusual girl people we can confront here. Then Dame Palliet is widow, sister to Castrel. So these many characters, at least important characters, are there. You have to remember them if you want to memorize the character. Memorize the plot of the play. Now let's move on to a summary of the play. So Lovett after left for London as a result of pandemic, leaving Jeremy, his butler, in charge of his house. So when the story begins, we can see that the master of the house in which Jeremy or faced as a butler working, and Lovett left for London. He is living for London because there is a rumor that an epidemic is going to affect everyone, so he leaves for London. Jeremy, his butler, in charge of his house. And Jeremy, throughout the play, he is called as Face, and until the end of the play the audience never knew that his original name is Jeremy. Okay, and Face starts to live in the house with the Subtle. So as soon as his master Lovett leaves for London, he calls his companion Con people and he started to live with them. And who all are they? Subtle. Subtle is a proposed alchemist. So he is he is identified with the alchemist. Actually, he is not an alchemist. He just rumored about him that he is an alchemist. And Dole Common, she is a prostitute, but at once she also changes roles while people are coming and visiting them. And these are the two companions that Face has in his con operations and con activities. An argument, so when the play opens, an argument is pervaded through the play between Face and Subtle, that who is more essential for their con business. So every time Face and Subtle, whenever possible, whenever these people are alone, they have this argument between Face and Subtle that who is more essential, who is more important in their con business. Okay, without whom this con business cannot happen. They always argument about it throughout the play, and the play opens with this argument, and the first girl arrives. So as they were arguing about it, Doll comes and informs them about the arrival of the first girl, who is a Dapper. Dapper, he is a legal clerk. Okay, now Face assumes the role of Captain Face and Subtle Doctor. So as soon as the girls arrive, what they will do, they will assume characters. So here when the legal clerk arrives, what happens? Face assumes the role of Captain Face and Subtle assumes the role of Doctor. Now what happens? Dapper wants a spirit that will allow him to win at gambling, and Subtle promised it. So Dapper, even though he is a clerk, learned person, he wanted to have a spirit. See, it was like rumored, they believed, the contemporary society believed, some of them at least believed that the alchemist can do many things and experiments in the lab and call the spirits in order to help the humans to accumulate wealth or to arrive at their prospected kind of things that they wanted to have in their life. So Dapper wanted to have a spirit to win at gambling, and Subtle promised him that. Immediately after leaving Dapper, Drugger comes, a young tobacconist comes, who is Drugger, and he wants to know how he should arrange his shop. So Drugger wants to know how he should arrange his shop in order to have maximum amount of profit. And Face Subtle revive to their argument. So as soon as he leaves, Face and Subtle revive to their argument, but Dole comes and warns them that Sir Epicure Mammon is approaching. So he is a wealthy person. Mammon is a wealthy person and he is approaching them. So Dole comes and wants to leave your argument there because some person of importance, another girl, is arriving. Why Mammon approached them? Mammon wanted Philosopher's Stone from Face. See, Philosopher's Stone, you must be familiar with this thing in stories and all. Like, this stone, it is believed or it is rumored to have special powers. If the stone was possessed by someone, that person will be extremely powerful and he will be immortal, he or she will be immortal. But still, everybody believes that an alchemist who is working in the lab, a chemistry lab, they could create this Philosopher's Stone out of some experiment and be unbeatable and immortal throughout the life. Okay, upon his approach, Face changed the character into Lungs or Alan Spiegel and Doctor's lab assistant. So when Mammon approached them, they also changed their roles. So Doctor, who is Doctor? Doctor is Subtle, and Face changed the character into Lungs, named as Lungs, or Alan Spiegel, who is the assistant to Dr. Subtle. Okay, Mammon came with his cynical sidekick. See, Sir Pertinax Surly, he is actually a cynical person who will question and doubt whatever Subtle and Face is saying, and Face and Subtle irritate his using scientific terms. So, they know the character of Surly, so it is for their own benefit that they keep Surly as confused and irritated, because if he given a chance, he will ask questions, and maybe the whole cone activities, cone operation will come to a failure. They won't have any wealth or any money from Mammon. So Face and Subtle irritated him using some scientific terms, while Mammon is not that cynical. Okay. So Face arranges a meeting of Captain Face and Surly in the temple church, while Dole made an entrance, provoking Mammon. Thus he wanted to have Dole and asked a meeting with her to Face. So see, while they were talking, Face arranged a meeting of Captain Face, that he will be disguised or pretended as Captain Face before Surly, right? So he arranged a meeting between Captain Face and Surly in the temple church. While they were talking, Dole made an entrance, actually a provoking entrance she made, because she is a prostitute and she appeared desirous, and this actually provoked Mammon to have her at once, and a meeting with her also arranged by Face. So after Mammon leaving, Ananias, an Anabaptist who is the deacon of Amsterdam, wanted to have the philosopher's stone to win more people to their religion. So people have different wantings, different demands from this alchemist. So Ananias, he is an Anabaptist, a religious person, a deacon of a deacon. So he also wanted philosopher's stone so that he could attract as many people as possible to their religion. He wanted to enlarge his religion community. So after him, another person comes, Castril. Castril is brought by Drugger. So Drugger and Castril, both of them arrive, and he wanted to know whether he is fit for his rich widowed sister Dame Pallet. See, Castril basically wanted to study and have a skill in the in quarreling, okay, how to win arguments basically. So he comes with Drugger, and he wants to know whether Drugger is a suitable fit for his rich and widowed sister Dame Pallant. And Face asked her to bring her immediately. So Face, in order to have a professional opinion about this matter, Face wanted Dame Pallant was at once bring to him immediately. And Dapper in the meantime led to a fairy rite, and Subtle and Face steal most of his possessions. So Dapper wanted to have a spirit, right? So in order to have the spirit, what these people made Dapper to do, Dapper was led to a fairy rite, fairy custom and fairy kind of experiment, in which fairies are involved. So he was made to believe that, and during that course of rite practicing, Subtle and Face, they steal most of his possessions and most of his wealth that they had then. And Mammon arrives there and converse with the doll as a great lady, and they bundled together into the garden. So Mammon and Doll, they also met there, and Mammon took Doll not as a prostitute, but they had a conversation just as Doll, pretending a great lady, belonged to a great house, and they as they were talking, they got desirous and they bundled together into the garden, and they were actually having physical intercourse there. The widow was brought, and also a Spanish don. Face met him as Surly was absent. So Face was actually pretending to be Captain Face in order to meet Surly there in that church temple. So in between, widow was brought to him, and along with a Spanish don, but the Spaniard is Surly in disguise. So who was Spaniard? Spaniard was Surly in disguise, and he wanted to since he was so cynical, he wanted to face without knowing him. Then Subtle and Face argue about who will marry the widow. Finally they agree to the Spaniard to marry her. So see, the widow is Castril's sister, rich and widowed sister of Castril. So Subtle and Face, they argued about who will marry widow. So finally he agreed that this Spaniard, instead Drugger, Spaniard will marry her. Now Subtle acts as father to Dole and pretends to court Dole and Mammon in secrecy, and Face comes and tells about the huge explosion happened in the lamp furnace. Now Subtle assumes another character, like he acted as father to Dole. See, now Dole's father, who is in disguise Subtle only, see, now Subtle assumed the character of Dole's father. So Dole and Mammon, they are having their secret affairs, secret doings and physical pleasure in that garden, or upper stairs or something. So Subtle comes and act as Dole's father, and Mammon and Dole, Dole and Mammon, it was like pretending like they were caught in secrecy, and Mammon could not stand there, so he needs to leave. Okay, and Face also comes there and tells that there was a huge explosion happened in the furnace, so the Dr. Subtle or the alchemist is no more, and also the lab got exploded, so the entire experiment got wrong. The entire experiment went wrong, so nothing can be done. They cannot provide them with the philosopher's stone soon. And so Mammon quickly left the place, completely losing his entire investment. So since he was caught with Dole and Dole's father caught them, so he cannot stand there, and anyway explosion happened, so he lost all his entire investment upon them, and he quickly left the place. And things started to spiral out of control, and the girls began to turn up without warning. So earlier it was like one after another they were coming, but now they are coming together without warning. So it got out of control when they started to appear without any notice. So they have to, what is the problem here is that they are assuming characters before these girls, these people, those who are visiting them. So when they come together, they cannot, switch between characters all of a sudden, right? And Dolphin informs about the arrival of Lovett. So finally, Lovett is coming back from London, and Dole informs Face about it. And suddenly Face has to make a final change into Jeremy Butler. So suddenly, without further notice, Face has to change the original character that he is, and whose name is Jeremy the butler in the house of Lovett. And Lovett comes with moved neighbors and girls. They turn up with officers and search warrants. So he was coming with all these people. Neighbors were there, guard people were there, officers and search warrants were there, and Dole and Subtle were so forced to escape penniless. So Dole and Subtle, they know that the situation is going to be worse, so they got to escape from there without having any money, and they escaped through the back door. The girls storm the house and find nothing, and they are also forced to return empty-handed. So as soon as the girls arrived there, they have given immense amount of money to these people. So they searched the entire house, but they could not find anything, and they also returned empty-handed. And Lovett lives with Castle and his new wife Dame Pallet. So Lovett actually married Dame Pallet, and he lives with the Castle and his new wife. And Face left alone on the stage to deliver the epilogue. So it was Face who left alone on the stage to deliver the epilogue. So the play contains an epilogue, and it is delivered by Face. So remember that. See, the character Face is very curious character. Like in the sense, Face has no face in this play. Like in that, which means that Face assumes different characters. We cannot see an individual character by name Face. For different people, Face is different too. For some, it is Captain Face. For others, who is the assistant of the alchemist. For others, Jeremy Butler. And for others, some other person. So Face has no real face, no individual character in this play, but still Face is the major central characters. Now let's see the theme of the play. Belief and faith is one thing, then alchemy. So people's general idea about alchemy is something that it will provide you with a supernatural power to create something. So alchemist can produce in his lab philosopher's stones and call upon spirits, and something like that people believed during that age, especially in the Jacobian age. that comes after Elizabethan age, you can see that enormous amount of development happened in most of the fields. So alchemy was also a branch of study or science that emerged, and people had different kinds of perception about alchemy that is quite visible there. That's why people believe that alchemists could do such things, unnatural and superstition and supernatural things in their labs, and create supernatural things in their lab, and people believed such a thing about alchemist. Gold is another thing. See, wealth, accumulation of wealth was always a theme in Ben Jonson's works. And London in 1610. See, it's a cross section how the major folly is committed by Londoners, especially the European people during the first decades of 17th century. Facelessness. See, basically character subtle, dull, and especially the character face, they are faceless people, like they assume different kind of characters and roles as demanded by the situation. Con activities, con operations are another thing, how they are crafty and well versed in creating schemes and plotting people. Science is another, how science got exploited and how false scientific followers and scientists were emerging during that time. Even now we can see such instances. So that's all about the play The Alchemist. See, we have almost finished with the Ben Jonson and his major literary works. So we have seen about the play Every Man Out of His Humor. Then we saw Volpone. Then we saw Alchemist. I hope this is enough about Ben Jonson. If you wanted a more elaborate study material about Ben Jonson, you can visit me in my website www.highpoint.in, where I have provided immense amount of and sufficient amount of simplified study materials in the form of 900 audio lectures and also 300 PDF materials, as well as previous and practice question papers, so that you can brush up and you can further move on and revise the things that you have already covered. And if you want to join the WhatsApp group that I have mentioned earlier, you can go to the description box and click the link and join, or you can message me in this number. I'll make sure that you got included in that WhatsApp group if you are interested. And I'm also having an Instagram ID. My page ID is lijimaria90. There you will get study cards, small videos, reels and stories related to NTA, UGC, NET, and inspiring thoughts too there. And in a daily basis I'm sharing all these things, so you can save them and you can have them whenever you are in need of them. So if you are a NET aspirant, this page, my page, will always help you to have more knowledge about NTA, NET, JRF, English language and literature. So that's all about it. Meet you in the next video session. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon so that you get notification whenever I upload a video. So that's all about it. Meet you in the next video session. Until then, bye bye and thank you.